All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a couple of real people out there, just like you and just like me. All right, I'm going to be talking about something that I am probably all alone on. And I'm just getting really tired of addressing this because I keep seeing articles. And all right, so I'm going to wait to get to that topic. Before I go there, Michael Thompson band, The Love Goes On. This came out last year. Totally went under the radar. This is one of the better AOR, adult contemporary, I don't know what you want to call it. It's just really great music by a very underrated band that dates back probably to the mid 1980s, mid to late 80s. But they put this out last year and just blew me away. I believe it came in second place on my list behind the Voyage album. So please check out The Love Goes On by Michael Thompson Band. I don't think you'll be disappointed. The music, the songwriting, production value is just fantastic. Now, what's not so fantastic is pimping out rock and roll to other genres and just saying, yeah, it's got the spirit of rock. No, if it's not rock, it's not rock. And the one I got in most trouble for, where people were disagreeing with me, was this whole Dolly Parton rock star thing. And I'm still reading articles about how Rob Halford was so grateful to work with Dolly Parton. Judas Priest, Dolly Parton. There you go. Way different genres, way different lifestyle choices. But Dolly seems to just take advantage of her stardom, and I give her credit for being a marketing genius. There is a lot of Dolly love everywhere, and she is a lovable character in many ways. Heck, right? Who cares if a 78-year-old woman dresses up like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader and gets old men all hot and bothered, right? I was getting messages back from people like, why don't you like this? She's 77 or 70. I think she was 77 at the time. She's now 78 because they had a little birthday celebration for Dolly when she turned 78. My grandmother, I think, died at like 67 or 68. I had another grandmother that died probably when I was 2 or 3 years old. I don't know how old she was. And kudos to Dolly for still being around and still looking the way she looks. I had arguments from people who were telling me that she hasn't had plastic surgery anywhere, which I don't think is true. She's just reverse aging like Ringo Starr, so just get over it. I mean, Ringo at 83. It just, I look at the guy, and I've met people who are 50 who look worse than Ringo does at 83. So, yeah, maybe there's hope for us. Ringo apparently eats broccoli, but I'm thinking there might be more to it than that. Even Dolly's sister got into the act when people were being a little critical of the fact that she was out there at her age in the Dallas Cowboys cheerleading outfit, and told people, well, Dolly's sister told people that they were jealous. They were jealous of Dolly. You know, this is a woman who's been on a couple of pretty big Christian radio hit singles recently. Zach Williams, I think, and For King and Country. It's been on 2 fairly popular radio songs with Christian artists. I think there's a large disconnect between behavior, and I'm not a prude, and I'm not being legalistic about this, but it just, I don't know, it just, something's wrong, and somebody else can comment on what's wrong, but something is definitely wrong. Here's my take on this, which again will make people irritated. I think this is a grift, okay? And it's a good one for Dolly. She was nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and she got in the Hall of Fame ahead of many legitimate bands like, say, Steppenwolf, the Guess Who, and Kansas. Okay. And there's a huge list of them. And if I brought out the entire list, it would make this look even more ridiculous. But there are so many bands. A couple, by the way, got nominated this year, finally, like Foreigner. Okay. So Dolly Parton gets into the Hall of Fame before Foreigner. Okay, sure. And then there's this album, right? Because of her rock star credentials, she felt as though she needed to record an album, and she did. And they are some pretty decent karaoke covers done Dolly style with special guests phoning their recordings in to be a part of this best-selling collection of songs. And it sold many units. You could walk into Cracker Barrel, right, and get your Dolly Parton Rockstar album before you go off and figure out which omelet you want to order from the breakfast menu. So the down home country breakfast place, I know it's kind of an all-day restaurant, right? But they've got the Dolly Parton Rockstar album there. So you can get your Rob Halford Dolly Parton duet along with all of the other knickknacks on the shelf. I just don't understand. I don't understand this. Okay. And this is just blowing up a genre to me. It's like saying, genres don't mean anything anymore. All right. Well, I know music is fluid, much like, should I say it? Much like gender, right? So music is fluid, like gender, can be anything. There were a few new songs on this collection, so we don't want to just say none of it was original. But you got Dolly singing Journey songs with a very muted Steve Perry. We needed more Steve and less Dolly. We got Dolly redoing Freebird because that's what the world needed. We have Dolly singing Queen. No, say it isn't so. While the music world fawned over this, I knew this wasn't going to help the cause of a dying genre, but it helps Dolly. And recently, Rob Halford of Judas Priest fame said he was glad Dolly made a rock album. If you had asked Rob Halford, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, do you think it's a good idea to sing with Dolly Parton? Do you think that will help your career at this stage? He probably would have said no. But things have changed. Rob is a little long in the tooth. He's young, I think, compared to Dolly Parton. So I don't know. This was certainly a career boost for Rob Halford. But for any serious fan of the heavy metal genre, it's just bizarre. So, Rob and Dolly, they do this duet, kind of making Tony Randall and Jack Klugman seem like they're not so odd after all, right? What is this all about? Circling the wagons? Because everything is kind of fading away. So let's just circle the wagons and make a great last stand, and we've got Dolly out there singing rock and roll. At least she's singing these songs, Dave, and people are hearing them again. Turn on most classic rock stations and you'll hear these songs. All right. These weren't the songs that have been focus tested out of existence. People are still playing Open Arms, believe it or not. So this is, to me, just not pushing things forward. It's kind of like genre isn't a social construct. It's a real thing. It's like math. Okay. So genre isn't just a manufactured idea. And, there are other things that dovetail with this in the world. Like, we're just going to break down barriers. There's no men, there's no women, just whatever. And same thing with music. There is no country. There is no blues. There is no rock and roll. There is no R&B. It's all just one great mixture. Here's how I know country exists, because oftentimes when I talk about country, people will say, I don't like country. And I'll go, okay, I like country, right? But they prefer stuff that's not country. So there is a different style or a different genre. It still exists. But, we're in a world where we're just breaking down barriers all the time. This is what makes me an oddball because I don't like this. I compliment things that I like, and I tend to push back on things that I don't like. Um, I'm not going to stop commenting on this stuff because other people say, well, it's still better than whatever else is going on. Yeah, but in the process of being still better than whatever else is going on, I'm talking about the Dolly Parton album, it's pathetic. It's not moving the ball forward. We are going backward. She didn't do the rock and roll community any favors by injecting herself at a time when rock needs some fresh blood. But give Dolly credit for being the master of marketing and self-promotion. I probably still could have done without the cheerleader thing. But again, I had guys in their 60s and 70s sending me messages telling me to shut up. What don't you like about it? I thought it was awesome. Did you watch the halftime show? Nope. This was during the Cowboys game, right? So no, I did not watch the halftime show. I did see highlights of it. And I just thought about kids who are watching this. Who's that? That's your great grandma. She's on TV. Do you like her outfit? So cool, man. That's cool. Some people are just like, hey, it's really cool. Me, I'm cringing. I don't care how good she looks in it. I'm cringing. There's a time. And that time was 40 years ago, maybe. I don't know. You're ageist, Dave. Yeah, well, rock and roll and music is kind of ageist unless you're Tony Bennett, right? And you could just keep going. Engelbert Humperdinck can go until he's 110. That's not going to matter. He's been wearing those nice looking suits for his entire career. Dolly Parton, for better or worse, she's been throwing some things out there for a long time. Is that good for her Christian witness, by the way? She purports to be a Christian. Is that bringing more people to Jesus, or is it, I wonder about a lot of people who kind of put their faith out there as kind of like window dressing. Like, yeah, by the way, I'm a Christian. Really? I don't know if it was a good idea to wear that Cowboys thing. I don't know. At your age, it's kind of weird. Did you go to church looking like that? Of course not. It's okay in a different place. And so that makes it all right. Dave, can older women go to the beach and wear a bathing suit? Sure. I'm not saying that. She's before millions of people on national television. She could have worn a classy dress if she wanted to go out there and belt out one of her new cover songs, old songs done Dolly style. So anyway, folks, this isn't doing rock and roll any good. I know this is a boring topic for some people, but it's just not doing the genre any good as it kind of fades into oblivion. If they had a classic rock band on stage performing their material at halftime, that would have been really cool. You don't need the cheerleader outfits. But you know what? I don't know. I have no idea where we are right now when it comes to everything. I mean that. I just don't know where we are. We're promoting old stuff, but then we're promoting new versions of old stuff, and we're calling it amazing. If I'm going to go listen to Freebird, it's going to be the Skynyrd version, folks. It's going to be the Skynyrd version. Why would it be the Dolly version? I mean, I think Alabama, great country band, does a version of Sweet Home Alabama. It's a good version, but I would prefer the Skynyrd version any day of the week. Twice a day. I don't know, once a day, maybe twice a day, Saturday and Sunday. All right. So I'm messing up my metaphors or my catchphrases here. So I'm going to stop talking. Michael Thompson Band, The Love Goes On. a great album. This is real new material by a great band. They've been around for quite a long time. And yeah, last year they had this, and I promoted it. I don't know if anybody heard it or went to listen to it, but you should. I think it's better than Dolly's covers album, but you'll have to be the judge. I mean, I like all of those songs, just I like them by the original artist. So, all right, folks, there you go. Boring content. I've added a new feature to ways that you can help the channel. Thanks to my buddy Dan, who tipped me off to buy me a coffee. So buy me a coffee is a way to donate to the channel. Say if you want to do it one time, that's a good way to do it. Also, Patreon for patrons, monthly patrons are the backbone of this channel, though. And YouTube memberships are important as well. Revenue is disastrous right now. It's all I can say. The YouTube AdSense revenue has really dried up for me over the last year or so. I complain, and I'm sorry I complain. So if you want to help the channel through Patreon, YouTube memberships, or if you want to buy me a proverbial coffee, all right, you can do that as well. I appreciate all the support on the channel. I have a couple of big donors that every so often really bless me and keep this thing going. So I thank you guys for that. And God bless everyone. Continue to pray for peace in this country and around the world, especially in the Middle East and wherever there is war. I follow the Prince of Peace. I don't follow the Prince of War. So, and Dolly does too. Let's give Dolly credit because she has at least expressed her faith in Jesus Christ. Hopefully she's bringing people to the faith and not pushing people away from the faith. I think that's really the end goal, witnessing to people. So let's try to be good witnesses for what's good and just and pure and all that, because the war is not a good thing, and God is watching. God is watching.